flawless.
And, to contract that, or to be contrast to that, I really do hope we see some sort of life come into the likes of Lance, for example, because he was pretty much a standout nung nag-perform sila against 1Z Endeavor, though literally the performance that knocked them down into the lower bracket. Now it seems like they're not going to be playing the same map that they have been knocked down into. We're not going to be seeing Chalet played into this. Nighthaven Labs will be the play for both teams, as if you remember correctly, 1Z Endeavor has never lost in this map. Can you say the same for Pumpkin Patch? They have banned out the Ram, interestingly.
This is something that we actually pulled off on Labanderos as well. To ban out the Ram means you're completely denying, not completely, but significantly hurting the vertical potential of the attack. Ram just gets so much vertical done, not only effectively, but safely too. So having to put Buck or Sledge in the position to vertical manually, not to mention the people with breach charges, they are not safe. They're not safe from the potential impact. They're not safe from the potential nitro cell that actually comes at the cost of getting those holes open. In the same regard, 1Z Endeavor is actually going to ban out both Montaigne and Clash again, leaving the final defending ban to Pumpkin Patch.
What's going to be this time around? Especially not going to be expected to defend here. Kaid's an option. Maestro. Okay. Not the pick that I was expecting. Is this something that you expected?
Not exactly expected, because I feel like it's something that they could have dealt with, but I see why they would. Maestro, don't forget, his bulletproof cameras, his turret laser eyes, they're still bulletproof cameras in the sense that they still see through smoke. And on basement, and even by extension, second floor, actually, including kitchen, those are very smoke-heavy plants. So to deny that potential of denying plant through smoke via the evil eyes, that's pretty big. That's pretty valuable. I'm not sure what caused Pumpkin Patch to believe 1Z was gonna run the Maestro. The other half of 1Z ran the Maestro, Labanderos, we did. But not too much success. So this must be a very, very cautious ban coming from Pumpkin Patch. On the inverse, similar to what you brought up before, how Maestro and Mira were kind of in the same boat, we have the Mira pick coming right away from Pumpkin Patch.
Yeah. Or maybe they just woke up and thought that 1Z Labanderos was who they're going to face in the grand finals, no?
Would have been.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have seen you in this position with me on the casting desk. Nevertheless, there's going to be 1Z Endeavor going to be picking up the attacking side this time. I believe in a lot of the times that they were expected to pick the sides, if I remember the conversations correctly, they would be the ones picking up the defender's side. So this is telling me that Pumpkin Patch are going to be the ones on the attack this time around, so, or defense, actually, mind you. Now, leaving it into the pushes this time around. I believe that's also an attempt out for the spawn peak. As you can see, Blanco down to 20 HP. Don't know if that's from the MP5s or if it was from any other gun. I believe it is from the MP5. And mind you, this is also a subbed-in player. I believe it is Ryanie who's playing the Doc this time around for Pumpkin Patch.
Looking towards a very, very dominant performance coming from Pumpkin Patch here. Ryanie and Skits, legendary duo, bread and butter. So to see what they could actually achieve through playmaking here, this might be Pumpkin Patch's first map on the series actually. It's hard because, yeah, 1Z hasn't dropped Nighthaven yet, but 1Z hasn't faced Ryanie versus Skits yet. Or Ryanie with Skits yet.
They're gonna try to play the bandit trick. There's an opportunity for that. He missed the window, and they also killed out BS Prime, so that's the mute down. That's also the wall, and IT opened up. Opens a lot of options for the 1Z Endeavor push. They make their way over to the meeting hall. They also have an opportunity to push on all sides, on all fronts as well. Catwalk not being the option for now, leaving Lance an opportunity to flank once they get themselves the opening. But that is if they do get themselves the opportunity to do so. Because now they're also trying to huddle up, see if they can deny any sort of info, destroy all default cams. But it's not at the cost of Blanco's life. They killed off at least one of them, the primary picks against 1Z Endeavor. J-Dog down to 50 HP thanks to the Mira pressure that we talked about time and time again. This operator has been a pretty big nuisance if you don't deal with it as much as possible.
Especially considering the fact that Ash, if I'm not mistaken, is already out of explosive charges. We can't deal with it head on, and he can't vertical it either. Oh, instead going for the Grim, opting for the Grim so that Mira's spot isn't playable whatsoever. They get the breach on into sight here with Grim's entry.
Yep.
This is
Now
a
an
lot more
opportunity.
doable than expected. There is a plant window here, assuming the right smokes are in play, because there's no potential push coming from them for as long as those Kawan Hive Ps are active. Last 30 seconds, and Miku gets another kill onto Skits.
Oh no.
Plant is going down as we speak. Shiba going to plant. Electrical control right now as Pao has IT. Gets a pick onto Miku onto catwalk. Pao and Lance,
Me2.
last two, 2v3.
No, and then the C4 goes wide. The push comes in for Lance as well. Trades off immediately. 2v1 and 1Z Endeavor. In this regard, the attacker is actually with the bomb plant coming down. Gives them the advantage. Did not matter if they trade off entirely in this picture. And they also have one player alive as well. So in that trade, it was on the attackers that actually won in this regard. Because of their pillar push, because of the numbers advantage as well. The amount of pressure that they were able to counter the Mira just seemingly paying off dividends. They kill off Ryanie. Skits also a non-factor into the game, which kind of choked them immediately. It's not the flashy play again that we were expecting from Cafe, but it comes at a cost of like lots of util being invested into trying to hold on the site for the team, but it results in Pumpkin Patch actually pressured to actually make the decision. They're the ones that actually reacted to the situation that 1Z Endeavor forced them into now.
Speaking of the situation being forced onto them, there's a lot of adjustments coming from the operator lineup, opting for Legion and a Aruni this time around, looking for way more delay on the push, because they know that if they can stretch out that push, dropping the Mira entirely as well, by the way. So long as they can stretch out that push, they know for a fact that those last 30 seconds won't be as hectic as they were last round.
Attackers must locate and defuse
We like to make the joke that as far as operators are concerned, Legion is a scaling operator, so to speak, because the longer you let him generate more and more Goo Mines, the more potent his impact gets. Just because, again, by the end of the round, he's put down 8 full Goo Mines.
Ton of value from the util itself. Second round now for 1Z Endeavor this time. Off the bat already, lots of pressure. Actually, presence already made over to the meeting hall position. This is where you can kind of see that 1Z Endeavor are starting off the bat. And you also see Lance now on the practice position. But will they expect two people over that meeting hall stairs as well? Kasi nga alam ko hindi siya nandito na nag-iisa. Nandito din si Ryanie.
Huge playmaking potential here. Oh! The opposite, in fact, as J-Dog gets the drop onto him. They know about the other player, but he gets dropped regardless, turning it into a trade out. Ryanie getting away with half his life. As Pao is able to land shots onto Blanco, turning this into a 3v4.
Damn.
Attackers are split across the map right now. Util distribution is scarce. They have breaches open, but the breaches are yet to be developed.
And again, they're also like proactively taking picks, but Argonium actually will equalize the numbers. Off the bat, you can see that there's adjustments from Pumpkin Patch, not giving the space up anymore, now fighting for it from behind. Finding layers upon layers on their defense, not playing the turtle position anymore, just proactiveness across the board this time around, and now they're turtle back up. 3v3, 1 minute and 20. Miku making his presence, now supported by Argonium, opens up again that connector wall itself as well. So now we're back to an even spot where they're just holding for angles. See if they can get themselves a pick. See if they find somebody a little bit pushed too far. An electrical, not the option so far. Because they want to see if somebody is going to make the mistake. Ryanie, either the first victim or the first Terminator this time around. They have an opportunity to open up another side of that connector wall as well. Thatcher in. Thermite on down. The push comes to shove as Dirty Papa gets a double kill. Argomium shut down. Miku responds with another. A 2v2. And Dirty Papa has to make the difference. Long range angle being dealt upon by Ryanie as well. This is crucial. Miku has to step up to the entry. Shiba also has to trade for the team. A 20-second execute that comes down to execution. But Pumpkin Patch You're gonna have to play with patience, but patience does not pay off. Miku will surprise Dirty Papa, has the time to plant as Shiba, the long range angle, full trust in his teammate. Surprises the last player with 2 shots to the body. As this is the second round for 1Z Endeavor, this time the pressure does not crumble upon them.
We're on the second map, and I swear the rounds are getting longer. The rounds are getting longer. That's 2 rounds in a row where everything has been down to the wire. Executions at the very, very, very last few seconds of the game. If we're maxing out the time and maxing out these rounds, that just goes to show
Attackers need to
how
locate and
tough
defuse
it is to
the bomb.
dent the armor that the defense is putting up right now.
Jeez. Louise, 1Z Endeavor. Round goes on and they kind of feel like they're fresh out of the bat then, no? It's just so hard to describe. I'm just out of words for how they're able to actually recognize the situation. They opened up the wall over to pillar, and that's full risk of knowing if they're gonna push on towards that pillar position or just run around that electrical position, because now that puts Dirty Papa in a position to watch both angles, but because of that, he fully trusted in
Objective is to defuse a
the
bomb.
Aruni to hold his backside, which is supposedly that pillar position, but that was Miko finding a timing.
And that timing, that entry, that was enormous. That in that moment was round winning. There's a lot of things that could have went wrong along the way, but for that to have gone right, that was the decider. Now going for a basement execute this time around. They're actually clearing second floor. So this is what I brought up to you in pre-production, the whole like skewer method. It's like you get this side of the map, you get the opposite side, and the flank, the potential flank coming out from skits on top fountain stairs. Yeah, so they're essentially skewering through the map because once they actually have full second floor control, like it's nothing but a flank, it's nothing but a pinch. And with that, they essentially do have second floor control. There's a roamer straggler in Ryani going around beating all. He barely misses. And as he gives, that declares, yes, attackers now have second floor. They're now working towards first floor. As Blanco's able to catch Lance in storage with the drop shot.
No way. That's not even from pure skill. That was a dash of luck from Blanco. Good thing he had the full spray control and just outnumbers the odds, just finding a headshot over to Lance, drop shot in hand. Skits also taking his aim on the kill feed, gets a second frag as well. Surprising J-Dog. Now that's without luck, that's with full skill. And as skillful as Skits can be, this guy is putting on a highlight reel and is continuing to do so. In the 1 minute mark, we'll find Argomium, but he will only get softened up as he positions himself very intelligently over towards the cargo stairs. This is good usage of the roamer, just biding his time, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. But on the long angle, the Aruni will save his teammate. Shiba knocked down to the ground. 4v2. The hard breacher not gonna have any value whatsoever yet. Miku kind of late to the party as well. Held up over at that warehouse position as well. Trying to clear every corner, but he gets shut down immediately by Ryani. The duo that we have been watching out for will finally deal some damage done. 1v4 this time around for Argomium, as the young gun has to be the hero of the squad, has to be the commander to save the team, but he will not get his time of day. A triple for Skits, a round finally again for a pumpkin patch.
The hold that we were looking for from the defense. They were able to toughen that up. They were able to actually respond to each other. These picks, it was pick after pick after pick. There were no utility interactions because they couldn't reach that point. The fact that the roamers were so prevalent that they were able to maintain that much map control for that long without any util interactions just goes to show how much more is it going to be difficult for 1Z once they actually reach site or they actually have things to play off of, where they're actually in enemy territory.
Where is this base? I believe it's on the first floor, no?
This is first floor, yes. This is the site that's adjacent to the warehouse.
Oh, okay. Interestingly, this is one of the sites that I actually hate trying to take, no? Just too hard for my liking. It's so rough.
there's a lot of hallway control required, and the thing with that is when you're playing rank, it's kind of difficult to maintain map control like that.
You know how this dynamic works for us? It's like, you remember, you know Conan O'Brien, right?
Attackers objective.
Yeah.
And then there's like this series where he plays with the gamer, and then the gamer actually tells him whatever the heck's going on in the game that he's
Oh my
playing.
God. Yeah.
I'm Conan O'Brien, you're the gamer.
Okay.
you see
Close enough.
where I'm going?
Honestly. Yeah, it's still really good. Like it's insightful both. As the opening entry gets denied by Lance swinging in with the headshot, the shotgun pellets do not land with J-Dog with the ambitious jump in with the Grim shotgun.
Ambitious loadout too. He had the shotgun on the Grim too. Not something I see every day. Maybe a pocket
one of the
strat for
best.
any Grim mains out there.
It is one of the best shotguns in the game. It's got across the room range, so
Oh.
it's not something to sleep on.
Are we talking about like pre-nerf Super 90 vibes?
This thing was the shotgun sniper before the Super 90 existed.
Makes sense. 2-minute mark. 4v5. J-Dog already out of the picture this early on, but Shiba will take his name out of the kill feed again. Skits not gonna contribute anything into the round. So alibi gone. But that's also Dirty Papa putting his own contribution to the kill feed as well. Another! Again from the Fenrir, from Pumpkin Patch. 1Z. They're kind of confused on what's going on. The read on the situation is not that perfect at all. Just getting picked off one by one individually by Pumpkin Patch. This is the adjustment that we've been looking for, and time again, it's working out in their favor. A double from Lance. And it looks like the buff is working out for him now. 1v4 for Argonium. Spots out one inside Electrical. Hatch is not open, so he does not have any other option except to fight them off one by one. Gets tagged down to 50. Does take down Lance low, and he does get them down as well. 1v3 this time around. As he's not going to win that as well. So that's a kill over to Ryanie right now. That's another round for Pumpkin Patch, equalizing the numbers 2-2. If I'm not mistaken.
Almost done with this first half of the match. Almost at the role swap. They really need these attack rounds because the potential attack coming from Pumpkin Patch is completely unpredictable. From the way that they've been playing and the way that Pumpkin Patch has cleared before, we know that Pumpkin Patch is very proactive. The way that they attempt to clear Cafe, really proactive. You would call it borderline perfect because they're reaching the right points way earlier than any other team would. So come attacking round, we don't know how well they're gonna clear. They must be insane at it. They must be like really early to these roam times.
Yeah.
So 1Z has to get everything together for these last defending rounds because they desperately need these. Because I don't think they're gonna survive multiple round rotations and multiple site rotations once the role swap.
Yeah. To the 2 now. Everybody just slowly climbing themselves back up on the confidence meter. And Pumpkin Patch.
10 seconds remaining.
Being very expensive with their hold.
That's true.
5 seconds to go.
In what way? Can you expand on that?
This is the way that they're making this hold, right? If you're making punish holds, that means someone actually has to be watching those punish holds. That means that they're actually being very proactive in what they're going to be holding. It's not like when we had the anchor set up on Cafe, 3rd floor. Despite having site being downstairs, you're dedicating anchor-based utility 3rd floor. Here, on Pumpkin Patch instead of dedicating anchor-based utility, you're just dedicating a lot of manpower.
Sometimes the numbers are enough for them, no?
And that's how they have been winning it out. They play for the picks, they play for the gunfights, and they leverage that manpower.
Yeah.
What's so impressive so far is a lot of these picks and a lot of these trades that they've run through is they're isolated, no backup. They just pop off individually.
Just like this?
As I say, as Skits takes 2 back to back.
Jeez.
Looking for
Is
one
that
more. and he
pushing
gets
on
Argo.
IT? What the heck? What did this guy eat?
I want what he's having.
I want what
Honestly.
he's having. J-Dog. He answers back with 1, but has to do a lot more than that. Gets the heavy lifting. Starts off with at least the first frag for 1Z Endeavor, but gotta do more than that. The shot again for Ryanie as the duo has woken up. very early into this second game. Sheba on a 1v4. The veteran has to step up. He finds at least one of them, but cannot land a shot in time. Crouch peek in hand. Leans on in as well. It's all coming down to the electrical push,
He's
but
going for a very, very aggressive hold here.
I think he's gonna win out the fight. Lapit na. Konting-konti na lang. Shotgun in, and he's got it. Bailiff shot from Skits itself. I mean, everybody's kind of performing on all fronts. I believe that's a 4K for Skits himself.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. 8 kills for Skits, 6 kills for Ryanie. This is a duo that we've been talking about, man. This is the duo that you have been fearful of actually facing up against. For good reason.
It's definitely insane to me to think that Ryanie isn't on their main lineup here. He's actually their substitute. You would have thought otherwise. You would have thought that you want that power reserved, you know?
Secret weapon vibes.
Honestly, at this point, honestly.
Pull him out of the pocket when once you lost the first game. I gotta see it. I see the strat.
Endeavor went for their timeout, which is honestly like very, very much needed for them to have had an early timeout. I know there's a lot of teams that have their timeouts much, much, much later in the round. But I think the earlier the timeout, the more you get shit out of the way, the more you actually establish things for your adjustments. Get on the same page sooner rather than later.
Yeah. And that's off of like 3 wins as well for Pumpkin Catch, so you can take what you can get. Use any sort of resource available to you, right? Timeouts transcendent on all esports. I'm not even talking about just R6, even in other games. Timeout could be everything for it.
It's not just that mental reset either. It's that strategic reset, and like it's that sigh of relief as well. That moment of fresh air that you can just. It's a mood changer, you know. It's a mood changer. It's a really big mood changer, especially when you can manage to get your team to lock back in. Speaking of locking back in, if they do manage to get this round and end the first half in a 3-3 scoreline, that's actually really big. That's enormous if they can get the 3-3 scoreline. If I remember correctly, on Cafe, it was a 3-3 scoreline at first, right?
Yep. Then it ended in 7-3.
Yeah, and if they can maintain that, then there's like really, really big potential for the role swap. It would be anyone's game at that point.
You know what I'm expecting? I'm gonna expect Blanco to do the weirdest shit. Aggressively taking the push. Even though he's on a support role. I mean, he's done it before. Definitely has the potential
would
to
you really
do it
call
again.
Sen support?
No.
I think for Valorant terms, it would be an initiator.
What is that game anyway? Never heard of it. Sorry. I don't know what you're talking about, buddy. Is that something you eat? Anyways, 2:15. And again, we're back to that scenario where they have to hold the first floor defense. Storage being in full control, as they're also ignoring every single part of that. But remember, you open up the wall, they're prepared for the verticality. Are they? I don't think they have walls over towards that side of the map as well. They open up the wall. Are they prepared for the default plant? I believe so. Smoke coming down as well. J-Dog picking up the first frag. C4 comes in. It does not hit the mark. It goes wide. Plant comes down. Diffuser planted. 1Z Endeavor in the first time in Nighthaven Labs will finally get the plant come down. Pumpkin Patch has to play the retake. Double kill for J-Dog as well. This is a crucial retake, especially for Skits, who has lost the timing on the push inside of the site. Argonium with a triple. Another for Miko as well. It's all coming down to the best player on the squad, arguably in terms of stats. Push on in. First blood couch found, but a second not found, with Blanco finishing them off. And off of a timeout, an instant conversion thanks to everybody finally getting on the same page. 1Z Endeavor will get themselves another round.
Arguably the second most important round, second only to the actual winning round. Ending the first half on a 3-3 scoreline is huge for them because it just throws the potential overtime that much more into their favor. It throws match point that much more into their favor. This is also definitely going to depend on how well Pumpkin Patch attacks Night Haven. But again, if they're so if night if 1Z is so undefeated on Night Haven, then they gotta understand what potential is coming out of Pumpkin Patch for the next few attacking rounds.
We finally have a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. 3-3.
This is the series we've been waiting for.
We've been talking about this game being like the grand finals caliber that we've been watching out for. This is it. This is some W7M versus BDS type shit. Are we talking about that?
I see where you're coming from, but if anything, I think the funniest part is the fact that both these teams kinda came out of nowhere. Emphasis on kinda in regards to 1Z, because the thing with 1Z is we haven't had a fixed roster in years, by the way. We weren't supposed to compete as 1Z, so like for them to pop up like this, it's hilarious.
Yeah. Don't you just love it when you see pure Filipinos just fighting up against pure Filipinos? Parang nasa nature natin makakita ng dalawang nagsusuntukan, tapos hindi natin sila papatapusin. Hindi natin sila papipigilan. Minsan kukuha pa tayo ng pagkain tapos papanoorin na natin sila no?
Modern bayanihan is being an instigator, I guess.
True. Jeez. Now we know what type of person Ramon and Payaling are right now. Never be the peacemakers.
Regardless of whether or not, regardless of whether or not there's drama involved in like what's happening, right? The idea of a fight is always pretty hype.
Don't make us mods.
So to see but to see these guys, rather, these two teams brawling up against each other as close as it's been, this is hype. This is genuine hype, especially with how close the rounds have been so far.
Yep.
Attackers are now in position, looking for their first executes for their first initial clear. I like how the meta's kind of evolved from, say, a 20-second meta, where you spend the whole round just clearing utility, to what feels kind of like a two-stage meta. You have your initial clear of the stuff that's on the outside, then you get that secondary clear of the stuff that's deep in the side. I say that as J-Dog, right? Going far away from deep inside and instead jumping out, getting some free picks, baiting the vertical player to run straight into Miko as well, putting them in an early 5v3.
Miko's just trying to find some hats out of the bag as well. Roaming on top of that basement control. Trying to rotate just to see after he got that second frag, he literally is repositioning to make sure that Pumpkin Patch are confused. Where the hell is this guy coming from? Where the hell is this guy gonna hold? Since they already got their hands full, nandito pa rin si J-Dog, he's still gonna get pressured. Nandito pa rin sa Electrical. But with as much time bought as he could possibly could, literally they're shaving off so much just to kill off this one guy. Breach charge out. Possibly just to destroy that one Kiba barrier, but on the other side of things, Miku and Blanco, they're doing their best work, and it's off the back of so much time bought. Another Kiba barrier. This guy's insane! Even using the impact grenade! Everybody, the young guns just want to take control of every part of Night Haven Labs.
They want to keep the J-Dog.
They want to complete the perfect record.
When J-Dog's landing shots like that, you know he means business. You know he's gonna keep it flawless.
Grabe. Si J-Dog talaga, boss. At alam mong
estudyante.
nangangagat ang kaibigan nating si J-Dog. Mga kaibigan, it is the lead coming in for 1Z Endeavor 4-3. So far, their defense is looking primed up as ever. Put all your resources everywhere across the map. You put J-Dog in a position where he wastes so much time. And not only does he do that, he runs out. Literally just to catch your pants down.
Only the smoothest coming from the boys.
No lube whatsoever.
Oh. Who needs lube when you're sleek and beautiful?
Gusto ko yung naglol bigla yung si Knight. Yep, that's not the cleanest thing I've said today.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I
don't get it, Ramon. Knight's not here, bro.
Oh yeah, that's true. Maybe he's just in my head. Know what I
Is
mean?
he in the room with you now?
Not in the room, but in my head, the way I'm constructing my thoughts is that Knight's actually the voice of it.
Ah, yeah, because when you think R6, you think Night Raid.
Yep, and I think about kills. I think about Miku right now. He's doing well against Lance. Literally, the head-to-head has been a 4-2 so far against Lance in this game alone. Do you believe me? Sounds believable.
Specifically Miku versus Lance. You've been keeping track.
Nope.
Okay.
But it sounds believable. If you make
It's
it
pretty
believable.
It's pretty believable considering that Miku and J-Dog have been putting kills on the board, mostly on the roam. They're finding these random picks. They're not necessarily random in the sense that they're not useful. As
That's
I say
random.
random, as kids gets to pick on the J-Dog there.
That's as random as it could possibly be. Argonium picks off one. At this point, just 1Z. All sectors of that. You got Catwalk in full control. You got Electrical. Yep. Giving up again to over to, I believe this is Rainy. So J-Dog's down. Nobody's holding that electrical position now. 1Z Endeavor. This isn't even a second floor hold. This is everybody just holding that vertical control, knowing that there's... It's a requirement if you want to take that first floor, no, diba?
Yep. To establish that vertical control, they establish those cutoffs because laterally, when you're on first
It's not
floor,
even first floor.
Those cutoffs don't exist.
Are we in first floor?
The site is basement, but the clear is top down.
Oh, that's true.
There's still a whole minute left. 2 operators left. On the attacking side, that is.
Yep. It's 2 kinds of breachers as well on Pumpkin Patch, so you can conquer both the hard and soft of it, if I do say so myself. 45 seconds. I know what I said.
Open up. As the 2 FBI agents are actually pushing down into EXO here. They don't have the information about the EXO push yet. So, they're calling
They
it
do.
out just now.
Blanco with his big ears just heard it, and he's ready to pick it off. No, he's not. Peeks on in. Does not deny the plant in time. Double kill for Miku, as it is going to be a beautiful response from 1Z Endeavor. We talked about them not having info, but you remember. Blanco hears everything.
Nightmare scenario there in regards to Pumpkin Patch. What would have been the perfect sneak for them? Caught immediately by their anchor. Really good response from the roamers to actually be close enough to respond to Blanco there. Argo is able to get the immediate refrag there as well. That responsiveness is what's keeping Endeavor afloat right now because again, they don't know what to expect as far as Pumpkin Patch has in the way of strats, in the way of takes. And so that on-the-fly adaptability and being close enough to respond to each other, whether the player is succeeding or failing, whether it's a trade out or whether it's just a reinforcement, that's what's keeping it difficult. You compare it to how Pumpkin Patch performed incredibly well on the defense. We mentioned, yeah, they do incredibly well individually. It's why they don't need to back each other up. These are 2 opposing playstyles.
So it's teamwork versus self-sufficiency. That's
Right?
what we're dealing with here.
You've got people who are incredibly good at carrying their own
5
weight
seconds remaining.
versus a team who's doing everything it can to carry each other's weight.
Attackers must locate and defuse
And
the bomb.
it's not even like a black and white situation. Both playstyles are pretty valid. It's just that...
Because both playstyles are in the grand finals, no?
Exactly. Biggest payoff, and J-Dog here's the push out for Skits. He punishes it with a very nice shot again. Already noted the bandit player over at the meeting hallway, so he's just gonna hold the angle. Argonium, he's gonna peek a little bit too far and gets punished with 50 HP to his name again. J-Dog, he wants to be aggressive. He pushes again with his Kiba barrier, and he takes the fight over to Dirty Papa. What is happening to these guys? 1Z Endeavor are picking fights every single time.
In the 5v3 at a 5-3 scoreline, once he just has full control of the map right now. Site is kitchen, yet attack has nothing they can do about second floor. The remaining utility left on them isn't disruptive enough to actually interact with 1Z set up topside. They have to take these gunfights, and they need to win these gunfights back to back for them to actually reach this man advantage.
That's true. They still have
potential lobby execute is kind of locked out. They just don't have the utility for it.
Can Lance make the difference again with the pick as he targets the bandit to try to see if he can get a softball advantage. Finds him on the other side of the map. Finds a softball for it. Does not hit the shot. And I think he's just teasing the possibility that he could be on the other side of that wall. Miku, he spots out at least a head, but does not land a bullet to it. And a lot of time to cover. And a few floors to also try to destroy. Get some control to get some advantage done. As J-Dog, he's teasing them on the other side of the Kiva barrier. He does get himself downed. Lance is not gonna have any contribution unless he gets picked off from the ground. He gets used as bait. The shot from Riney right here does actually make the difference this time around. So that's J-Dog down. That's at least one of the soft roamers out of the picture this time around. 1 minute shaved off of the clock as well. Make it 2 minutes. Down to the 45 seconds. Goyo targeted by Lance himself. Still alive and kicking. Over at the lounge side. Pwedeng i-push doon sa may meeting hall stairs. So ang daming time pwede pa itong makonvert ng pumpkin patch. Especially with 90 being in full control of Endeavor. That can still be on the other side of the revolver. So, PS Prime has to do the dirty work this time around. The push on in from Riney. A double kill for him right now. 3v3. Equalize the numbers. 20 seconds. They have to do the numbers. They got the verticality, but do they have the sight control itself? They breached the wall. They're holding the angle. They're keeping themselves safe inside of that small box, but Shiba peeks out, emerges from the shadows. 3v2, 5 seconds, could not handle the pressure. Double kill from the leader. 3v1, as Riney could not do anything to deny that at all. 1Z Endeavor, with full patience, with blood, sweat, and tears, take the round away from what could have been a comeback from Pumpkin Patch.
That was it. That was the swing back. That was the genuine potential for Pumpkin Patch to swing back into that. Losing those players early and then evening the numbers again. It's reminiscent of how the rounds played out. With Endeavor losing out those early rounds and then swinging it back to bring it to an even advantage. Now with Endeavor taking that lead, it's the same thing all over again.
Attackers need to
Either this
locate and
momentum
defuse
has
any
to
bombs
die
they
or
can.
change for Pumpkin Patch to get the leg up. Or we take it to map 3. We take it to map 3 and 4 potentially.
Damn. And again, could be a perfect record on the Night Haven Labs. 1Z Endeavor are showing full confidence in their abilities to hold the site down. And not even the site. Literally just playing the map control at a perfect T.
At a 6-3 scoreline, let's not cast a curse them just yet.
You know what I'm doing here, man. Yeah, you know what the script is all about.
6-3, they were 6-3 against Paradexes. Paradexes came back a bit, and then
Sure.
look what happened. Like,
Sure.
they've been on the edge before, but
That's true.
Here we go again. J-Dog's cooking once again. Impact in hand. Kiba barriers at the ready. Miku ratting downstairs, looking for that deep lurk. J-Dog gets found out and free fired through the wall. A great shot by Lance.
No, man. We gotta see the replay of that later on. That's insane. That's an unfortunate timing for J-Dog. He was trying to see if he can get the one tap on through.
Recover the diffuser.
And
But a
that's exactly
pre-fire,
the
like you
kind of-
said.
That's exactly the kind of pick that they need right now. Reducing the roam presence makes their side take that much easier. Especially considering the fact that we're on second floor. The flank potential is way less with only one roamer left in play. It's going to be more head-on gunfights and going to be way more interaction. I don't think Lance is aware that Miko's here on top of lobby stairs, but Lance is showing care regardless, as he should, being the Flores. Miko's waiting for this. He's probably going to go for a late flat. Catwalk is being taken slowly. I like this synchronized bait. Pumpkin Patch is doing both sides simultaneously, and this is getting a lot of work done with minimal effort and with minimal utility wasted. They're
That's
not
true.
aware of the Goyo just yet. They're about to check for him. Goyo's gonna deny this info. He does not actually.
Attackers dropped the
He smells him.
Attackers have recovered their
Smells the dirty Guatemalan over to the other side of the stairs.
Hey,
And
yo.
these expend util. I'm telling you, this guy's dirty in a way that he is dirty so far with his mechanics. Miku rotates around, knows that he's a threat, knows that he has to play his position well. So Lobby stairs in control. Push on in again from the main stairs. Miko gets one. And again, his rotate works dividends. Except Dirty Papa was at the right place at the right time. 3v3. Expending the numbers back into an even playing ground until Argomium was able to catch up. Dirty Papa. Nice communication set on down. C4 on through as well. Will this be a perfect opportunity for that util to come down? I don't think so just yet. It's too early to tell. 45. 2v3 this time around. Skits has to do wonders to actually put the numbers back on favor. They even turtle on down.
"3v2. Control over all of the extensions of site right now. No direct site interaction just yet. It's a 2v3. If there was a time for them to frag out, it would be now.
But if there was a time for them to use the Goyo canisters, it was right here, right now as well. I love Goyo. Even though he's dead, there's still full impact on him right now. 3v2, 5 seconds, could not push, could not do anything. This is all a onesie endeavor map, ladies and gentlemen, as the perfect record still stays true to this day. Onesie endeavor or